a Calgarian, you've seen it a few years ago. Well, you know what? This is the reason you want to come this year, because it's the 50th anniversary of the Grandstand show, and they have created a really impressive performance for you. Rachel Avery joins me. Rachel has a long and storied history in the Young Canadians and the Grandstand show. Rachel, thanks for coming by.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Because for people who have been around Calgary long enough, the name Avery, right away I said, what's her connection to Randy? What's her connection to Bill? So remind my listeners why the Avery family bleeds the Young Canadians and the Grandstand show.
We do. We bleed it. We eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Randy Avery, my grandfather, came to Calgary in 1968 and started the Young Canadians as a performance group. So they would train and then get this amazing experience to perform in the Grandstand show at the end of the year. So it's such a unique program because the kids have this performance experience where 20,000 people are watching them every night. So he had this vision. He came up and saw all the talent in Calgary. There's still original Young Canadians from the 1968 show who talk about his, his vision and his influence on their lives. And so he and Margot McDermott started this group, and it just caught on. You know, people in the audience were just loving seeing their family members up there singing and dancing and wearing sequin, and flashing lights. And then, my dad worked closely with my grandfather for a lot of his career. They did the fair circuit in Illinois and all over the United States. In fact, it even goes further back. My great-grandmother was a vaudevillian.
Oh, wow.
Gertrude Avery. And my grandpa Randy was part of her troupe.
Okay.
So they were New Yorkers. They traveled all around the North America doing vaudeville. And so, it's a big, long entertainment history. And so my dad, Bill, took over the show, I think, in 1983. Mm-hmm. And we moved up here from Chicago. And he has, he had a 30-year run with the Young Canadians as well, creating amazing grandstand shows, improving the technology, creating the Queen Mary as you see it now, the stage, and just really, so for me coming back, it's just like this long family history, and I'm just, steeped in nostalgia, but having the best time.
Yeah, well, the cool thing was 50 years, as we said, this marks 50 years of the Grandstand show, but before that, there was the Stampede, but they would bring in other acts. It wasn't as if it was a real local, homegrown show.
Sure, exactly. So I think, like most state fairs, they have a grandstand, attraction where there'd be a band, or they'd have a comedian, some
throwing a juggler.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a ventriloquist. But yeah, so my grandpa had that experience having traveled around, and as a vaudeville performer, they went to the state fairs too, and they would do their act. Yeah. So he had that. I think he had that experience and had that vision to change the scope and make it something that we create here.
Yeah, I love it. You were a Young Canadian as well?
I was yes, that's putting it lightly. I was a Young Canadian from the time I was 7. I was the smallest Young Canadian. I was the smallest that year, my junior year. Colleen Tynan and I started Young Canadians together, and she's a lifer. She's also around the Stampede a lot, but I was the smallest one, and I was in Young Canadians till I was 18.
Until you were 18.
And then I went to UCLA. I kind of was ready to make a big leap, and so I went to the School of Theater, Film, and Television at UCLA in Los Angeles. And in the summer, my dad would say, why don't you come back and sing with the band, or why don't you come back and, do this sort of featured solo that we need more of an adult to do. Right. And so I did that for a few years, and then that was it. And so now I am back.
Well, you know what? And I think it was on Instagram or Twitter, some former Young Canadians were posting pictures, because this has been a huge reunion then for Young Canadians going back to, as you say, 1968.
Absolutely. On the Thursday, which is sneak a peek to everyone, we had we do sort of a dress rehearsal performance, but it's really the same. We're ready over at the Grandstand show. And so the Young Canadians were invited. Every one of them got 2 tickets to bring their spouse or their children or whatever they wanted, and the committee put on such a beautiful party. I mean, there were 400 people at this party, looking at old memorabilia that had been set up and costumes, and I mean, there was so many tears and so many laughs. It was incredible.
Rachel, what can we expect then if no one has seen the Grandstand show, and we've still got almost a week left of the Stampede here?
Well, you can expect to see just the most beautiful spectacle. I mean, these kids are incredible dancers. Angie Benson is the choreographer. She is just like putting out all the stops. The dancing is amazing. The singing is amazing. We're all singing live. Everyone's got these earphones in their ears and singing their little hearts out. And so the juniors, I do a number with the juniors. You make me feel so young. And they are so cute. They asked me for my email address so they could text me. And I know they did that with Jan Arden last year, and but I'm very honored that they wanted to text me as well. So I actually got a text from Joyce just now saying, "Can't wait to perform with you tonight."
You can work with those young, and so there's the young Canadians, and then they've got have we got some jugglers?
Oh my gosh, we've got acts from around the world that are really incredible. We've got Ron Lucas, and that's really special. He is an incredible ventriloquist, and he was in the show when I was a little kid.
Oh, wow.
So seeing him again is like, I walked up to him and said, "Ron, it's Rachel." He's like, "Rachel?" I mean, so I've grown apparently.
Yes.
But so he's incredible, and he's kind of like the most incredible ventriloquist you've ever seen. He's hilarious and fun. We have Darcy Oak, who is an illusionist.
Yes.
And he does. I was like dumbfounded, and I'm watching from backstage, so I have to tell you, it's pretty amazing what he's doing on stage. There's a flaming bear trap and all kinds. So if you like that kind of excitement, there's that. There's then we have a really wonderful comedian who Drew Lynch, and he's hilarious. And we've got amazing fireworks and amazing music. There's a 15-piece orchestra on the stage, so the music is incredible.
This would be the Grandstand Show if you haven't been for a while to come down, celebrating 50 years of the Grandstand Show. Rachel, thank you so much, and good luck in LA.
Thank you so much.
Rachel Avery joining us today. Let's check that drive home.